This lecture, then there will be a mini arati for this Sunday sponsor, and then it will be followed by kirtan, and then there will be a announcement, and then there will be followed by prasadam. Hare Krishna.
Advaita acharya prabhu ki. So I thought since Sunday we're here, we don't have any formal program on that day. Of course, it's half-day fasting, but so we'll discuss some things about Advaita acharya, some philosophy, and some pastimes. Try to mix it all together. That's how it goes. I've got some slides. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? So to make the lecture go a little easier. But anyway, we're going to sing Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Nandana. Because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just so to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls. But I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you are always joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. O Sadhu Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O six Goswamis, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master, I pray for your mercy also. O Srinivasa Acharya, successor to the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Das always desires the company of Ramchandra Chakravarti. Shri Panchatattva ki.
Yeah.
This is the time of the year in our Vaishnava calendar where we honor the appearance of the most magnificent incarnation of the Lord, the holy name. I thought I was going to say Lord Chaitanya, right? He delivers the holy name, therefore he is also. Of course, there's no difference. Mahaprabhu, Krishna, the holy name. Krishna is paraphernalia. This is the wonder of the mellows of Krishna consciousness. Everything is simultaneously one, and at the same time it's different. So it's hard to distinguish. And in Mahaprabhu's life, of course, you see that exhibited as he gets to the end of his Leela. What is day, what is night, what is this, who is fallen, who is the mood of Radharani, of course, she's the driving force of all of this. She is very compassionate, and she is the embodiment of Krishna's pleasure potency. Such Chit Ananda, in Vigraha, in form, these three, Krishna, Balaram, Radha. Anyway, it says here that therefore, these magnificent, magnanimous incarnations, they have appeared, and not so much like other incarnations that are coming. Right? Yada yada hidama sadhana bhavati bharata. Paritnaya saladam vinasana chatustikam dhamma samstarpanataya sambhavana yuge yuge. Establish religion, to annihilate miscreants, to reestablish religious principles. Sounds like work, right? But this appearance is very unique, and that in the Vedas is not even mentioned. It's hidden. It's hinted at by Narada Muni to Vasudeva, actually, Krishna's father. He's talking to him, and he says this verse. He says this: Krishna Varnam Trishal Krishna Sango Pankastra Parshana Jadnai Sankateya Vajna. Janti He Sumeda Saha, that in this age of Kali, that people are going to perform this congregational chanting, and they're going to worship this incarnation of God, who is constantly singing Krishna's names. I said, although his complexion is not blackish, it's just the opposite. He is Krishna, and he's accompanied by all his associates his servants, weapons, and confidential companions. So very unique. It's Panchatattva, actually, it's referred to, not just Mahaprabhu. That come to establish all of this. And it's the, how would you say, the Adi Purusha, the original. These are not the expansions of Krishna. Krishna himself is coming like that. So, it's another verse that says this in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, is Panchatattvam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avatar Bhakti Nanami Bhakti Shaktikam. That this truth is coming in 5 features. One feature is the devotee, which is Lord Chaitanya. The devotional incarnation, which is Advaita. His devotional manifestation, Nityananda, and the pure devotee, Srivas. And of course, the Godheart is the energy. So together, these 5 are establishing this chanting of the holy name for us. So it's, it sounds a little complicated, huh? So, how much do you know about Krishna consciousness? Have you read our books?
Yes.
Not you, behind you.
Oh, I'm very new.
You don't know anything?
I'm not.
Okay, I'll try to speak in such a way, and I'm like, what the heck is he talking?
I sound like I'm not.
Okay. Anyway, you know who's Krishna? No? How did you come here?
Well, Mr. Das is very kind to.
Oh, yeah, you got the mercy of the Vaishnava. He's always
very merciful.
Very merciful. You want to come and Joyce? Come on over here and come with me on Sunday. Nice, huh? We'll give you some books so you can get the general philosophy. But basically, we believe there's God. You believe in God, right? And everything comes from God. And our duty, if you want to really be happy, then you need to keep a relationship with God. So this is how we do it. Praise the Lord with all our heart and all our mind. Hare Krishna. So, but behind all that, there's a lot of philosophy of about 80 volumes of books to convince everyone to take this up. But in the end, it's just chanting Hare Krishna. So, and this is today, we're discussing God. Of course, we say God. So God means, what is it? Just some light?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just some light, right? It has to. It says even in the Bible, we're created in the image of God. But of course, they don't say what he looks like. And our scriptures say what he looks like. What does he do all day? A lot of detail. So it's nice to know that, right? So it's not, you say government. Yes, I love America. Okay, that's nice. But then if you can love the president, that's even better, isn't it? It's kind of the person. Of course, nowadays it's a little tougher. But in general, people want that. It's personal. In the end, everything is for enjoyment. So you can't enjoy by yourself. Can you? I'll put you in a room all by yourself. You can have everything, but no people. That's hell. So you want to have people. So this is all about relationships. So we're talking about reestablishing the relationship. And here, this guy comes as a devotee, because being a devotee is so nice. He wants to experience it. So he doesn't come as God. He comes as Mahaprabhu. Prabhu means, like master, we all call each other Prabhu. So he's the Mahaprabhu. So he comes to experience that and show us and reestablish, just like this Prabhu is bringing you to Krishna. So this Mahaprabhu is bringing all of us. And we're just going to go through some more details. Like I mentioned, in this case, you have to see this incarnation as at least 5. Actually, in this verse it says it's more than 5. It continues. I found something in there where it mentions in the Mahaprabhu, in Chaitanya Mangala, which was written by Lochanas. And he mentions in there where Lord Chaitanya was saying how even the people that he missed, in his presence, that he will send his generals in the future to collect them. A little hint about Prabhupada and everyone else coming. Because that is the nectar of this devotion. It's Sankirtan. So with that, let's do a little philosophy. The reason we have this, I'm reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is written by Krishnadas Kaviraj. He's one of our acharyas who appeared after disappearance of Chaitanya and even Goswami. He was a disciple of Raghunath Das Goswami. And he heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, who got the Leela from Sadhu Damodar and others. And in Vrindavan, after the passing of Mahaprabhu, there are 3 books written, Chaitanya Mangala, Chaitanya Bhagavat, but they deal more with this mood, the mellows of devotion. And both of those books, if you read them, they have different feelings to them, actually. One is very familial, Lord Chaitanya as a youth. Another one is more about his sannyas, but not a lot of philosophy in there. So people read that, they go, yeah, he's a nice man. Nothing establishes who is Mahaprabhu, because in the Vedas he's not mentioned. Because he comes as a devotee, he doesn't want to be God. So it's hidden. So Krishnadas Kaviraj, he was asked to write something. Now, they didn't ask him when he was a young man. He was almost 90 years old. He was invalid even. He could barely hear. He says he can barely see. He trembles because, old people. He says, I'm an invalid. And this is 400 years ago. Can you imagine? There's no Google database, computers, all these research. There's no libraries to look at books or anything. None of these things are there. And then in front of the deities, Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan and Vrindavan, they speak to him. And they tell him, no, you do this. He says, I've been ordered by these deities. So we have Radha Madan Mohan here. 3 principal deities of Vrindavan, Radha Madan Mohan, Govinda, and Gopi Jana Vallabha. For different aspects of devotional services. In the beginning, one should approach Madan Mohan. And as he advances, he goes to Govinda. And then to get the final medals, Gopi Jana Vallabha, the lover of the Lord of the Gopis. Like this. So, and he says he's amazed that with all these difficulties of his body, still, he says, I'm writing all this. You see how elaborate it is, very elaborate. So he begins to explain in the Adi Leela, there's 3 sections, Adi Leela, Madhya Leela, and Anta Leela. How many people read Chaitanya Charitamrita? Very good. So you have to read that book. That's very nice. Read that whole book. Adi Leela is really establishing very nicely, because if you read Bhagavatam others, you get bits and pieces, and he puts it all together very nicely of what is the absolute truth. Let me show it to you. Complicated, huh? I couldn't make it any bigger. And this is everything in existence. Spiritual world, material world, everything in between. So let me just read a little bit there. I'm going to change that so that doesn't break our heads. It's hard to see that explanation there. He begins here in the first chapter of Adi Leela. He titles it The Spiritual Masters. That's his first chapter. Because this is how you learn to get this knowledge. You have to receive it from a devotee. So he goes on and says, I'm skipping over quite a bit here. I'm just going to catch some of these verses to lead into who is Advaita Acharya. He says, may Sri Nityananda be the object of my constant remembrance. Sankarshan, Seshanag, and the Vishnus who lie in the Karna ocean, Garbha ocean, And ocean and milk are his plenary portions, and the portions of his plenary portions. So, let's see if this will work. Oh, there it is. Yeah, come on, mouse. I need a pointer, huh? There's Krishna, Radha and Krishna. And their planet is a lotus flower. And in that planet, all the divinities are covered by the internal energy, and they don't know God is great. And they think, either they think, oh, he's my son, I have to take care of him, or we're friends. You know, imagine if you are friends with, I don't know, pick whatever great person you want to think of. Let's say Modi, he wants to be your friend. Is it possible? You always feel uncomfortable, right? You go, yes, Mr. President. No, don't call me president. Okay, Mr. President, I won't call you president. He can't do it because he's so much greater than I am. So how can you be friends? So you have to cover that. It's like the president has children, and the wife never calls him Mr. President. Does he? No, did I tell you to pick your socks up and put them down there anymore? Okay, I'm sorry. And that gives him pleasure. Mr. President is pleasure too, but it's more intimate. So this is Krishna and Goloka Vrindavan is like that. And then in the Vaikuntha planets, there all the opulence is displayed. His forearm, very beautiful. He's so beautiful, they just talk about his hair. Imagine someone so beautiful, just seeing the hair is enough. You don't have to see anything else. Keshava. But to speak of the other things. And everyone is, oh, you're so great, you're source of everything. They know that. And so they worship in this way, awe and reverence. So, an explanation of all these things that are there, they are manifested from Balaram, who's none different than Krishna. And Radha is the expansion of the pleasure potency. And he manifests himself into Chakravyuha as 4 expansions of Vishnu. And from that 4 expansions of Vishnu who occupy all these planets, comes another 4. Of the main, the Sankarshan comes the Sadashiva. And from Sadashiva will come this, down here on the bottom, this Karanadaksha Vishnu. You see him down here? With an armatil realm. We're down here. Here, let's change the picture. There we go. This is a better view, I guess. Huh? This is from Prabhupada's first book, the painting he commissioned for his first canto. This is the material realm that we're in, and everything else is Vaikuntha planets. 3/4 of everything is spiritual world. 1/4 is prison. For everybody who doesn't want to cooperate. Okay, go down here. You stay here. There you go. This is Karanadaksha Vishnu, who is manifestation of Sadashiva. And from him, you see all the universes are coming out of his pores like air comes out of our pores. Unlimited. You can't even count these globes. And then he enters into each globe as Gabardaksha Vishnu, fills it half with water, and out of his abdomen comes a lotus flower, Lord Brahma. This is another view. He's in Yoga Nidra, just resting like that. And this is one universe. And Gabardaksha Vishnu, Brahma, in the lotus stem are all the planets which come out, and Brahma begins to, he is the creator of everything here, all the divinities, and this universe itself, who can see the end of it? Scientists are still looking for the end, aren't they? Nobody can see, where is the end? And what to speak of life on other planets? Is there not? I don't know. We're stuck down here. So vast. So the source of all that person is this Karanadaksha Vishnu. This is Advaita acharya. This person is down here, Hare Krishna, chanting with us. As a matter of fact, if you look at the Leela, in Krishna's Leela, this Mahavishnu wanted to participate. You all know that story? You would think, as big of a personality he is, he should be able to see Krishna anytime he wants, right? But he can't. So he steals the sons of the Brahmins, remember? There was a Brahmin whose sons were dying. I think 8 sons died, one after another. And he was very upset because this is in Dwapara Yuga. Dwapara Yuga things are very nice. And the Brahmin knows this, how is it my son is dying at birth? This is how nice he was. No child would die, no person would die before the end of their life. What to speak of a child? And he says, I know I'm following religious principles properly. So it must be the king's fault. He's doing something wrong. And therefore my child is dying. So Arjuna heard this and he began to come and to talk to the Brahmin. And he convinced him, no, I know Yudhisthira is, he's very good. He's not doing anything wrong. You have another child. He has another child that dies. Why should I listen to you? Now I have so much grief. And he told him a third time, you try one more time, and if that child dies, I will put myself in fire. And the third child dies. So then as he's about to enter into the fire, Krishna comes and stops him and says, no, I know what's happening. Come with me. And they mount his chariot, and he passes through all the coverings of the universe. I think I got a picture. Yeah, here, this one kind of shows that. 8 coverings of the universe. And he goes up and he sees this. Karna Daksha Vishnu. He was stealing those children. Because he said, I wanted to have your darshan. He knew he would protect Arjuna. So now I can have your darshan. So they took those children, they went back, gave those children to their brother. That's how difficult it is to see Krishna. Even Karna Daksha Vishnu. So that's the only participation he had in Krishna Lila, was to do that. And that shows how you can be the perfect Brahmin. That doesn't give you darshan of Krishna. You have to develop your love for Krishna. Arjuna is a king, he's not even a Brahmin. And yet Krishna is like, okay. Why didn't Krishna protect the Brahmin? He didn't even think about it. As soon as Arjuna, no. So this is what we're delivering with Sankirtan. Not just religious principles. We're developing the mellows of love of Godhead. And we enter back into that Goloko Premada. So this is that Advaita acharya. It mentions, let me see here. Millions of parts and energies and incarnations. All the incarnations come through that Karna Daksha Vishnu. Therefore in that passage actually you'll find he says to Krishna, you are my incarnation. It sounds bewildering. Because that's the etiquette that passed through. Nugraha, Nushrina, as you see listed up there. So it mentions, what I'm showing here is also this is Shira Daksha Vishnu, because again he enters into every atom. All divinities, you see, he enters in that way. So this way Krishna is everything. So he is the cause of all causes. And here in Krishna Das Kaviraj mentions that he says, just as the external energy consists of 2 parts, the efficient cause and the material cause. Maya being the efficient cause and Pradhana the material cause. So Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Person of Godhead, assumes 2 forms to create the material world with the efficient and material causes. How many people just skip over that when you read it? You should Google it. I Googled this. Let me see if I can find it. I think I put it here. Oh, here's what I was going to So that's saying prabhu.Shai Vishnu, all the universes coming out. Super soul in every atom. This is the philosophy of, like, if you want to understand anything, Western philosophy is taking this, Aristotle, and he says, let me see if I can read this, I thought I put it down here somewhere. I don't have it. Anyway, the point being is that if you want, you have to understand what is why. Why is there anything? Like, why is there a table? When you see a table, immediately what's the first thing that comes in your mind? Why? So to understand why, you have to analyze it in terms of the causes. So there are 4 causes. Material cause, there's wood. And what is the efficient cause? A carpenter, he makes a table. And the real cause is you want to eat on the table. Isn't it? And then there's a formal cause, it has to be designed. So this Advaita, he is the Sadashi, Garbhodakshai Vishnu. Everything is coming from him. He is the material cause. Right? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence, false ego. That's coming from him. And he's the efficient cause as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. He puts it all together, the material world. So this is the philosophy that he's describing in that verse in that way. And then these 2 causes, but Krishna, he's the cause of all causes. Right? He is the enjoyer. Right? In the spiritual world, the table is used for Krishna. So he is the enjoyer of the table. He's the source of this Mahavishnus. So he is the, when they say cause of all causes, this is what they're referring to. Because everything is in relation to a cause. So, we don't think like this subject. We don't really, maybe consciously analyze philosophically why. But everybody has to do why. Otherwise, how can you live? You're just an animal. If you just follow my senses. I don't know what I do, why I do it. I just do it. I just react. Right? Like we see the whole world is here. What person doesn't say, why is there anything? Do you just live? Who cares? Give me something to eat. No. So to be fully satisfied, we should have the answers to all of these things. So our philosophy, Krishna is the cause of all causes. Everything is meant for him. So, anyway, I thought I'd throw that up there. Maybe it's a little too deep. But I read that before. You think, why is he saying efficient cause, this cause, that cause? Who cares? But there's a logic to it. So, this is the material energy, Durga. Representation. And that it is her. As you saw the picture before with the universes coming out of his pores, that is the material energy. Just like Ganga. We know Ganga is a personality, right? So she's not water, but that is her energy. But you see her riding on the crocodile. So similarly, Durga has her tiger. So like to Panchatattva. Mayapur Namaki. Who has not been to Mayapur? I dare you to raise your hand. Okay. Who's going to go to Mayapur? Everybody, right? You have to go. Somehow or another they manifest. Yeah. Advaita Acharya is on the end. He's older. With the beard. And there was a big discussion when they made this deity. The maker of the deity refused to put a beard on him. He said, no, he's not like that. The Prabhu said, no, you put that beard. Because he's older, actually. He appeared before Mahaprabhu, also Nityananda. They all appeared before Mahaprabhu. And they laid the groundwork for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So of course they appeared in this time of Kali Yuga, which we are in now. This is another thing we have to establish. This will kind of glorify what is Advaita, what is Panchatattva. We can establish this scene. We are now in this period, they call it Kali Yuga. The world goes through 4 periods. And this is the winter period where things are considered the worst, right? Most people don't like winter, right? We like spring and summer, correct? Fall. So some people, yeah, I like snow, man. I go skiing. But that's not common. Most people like the spring and the summer. So this is Kali Yuga. And Kali Yuga means things have become degraded. Let's read some of these symptoms of Kali Yuga. In Kali Yuga, there's a predominance of cheating, lying, laziness, violence, depression, lamentation, bewilderment, fear, poverty. Isn't it? Nobody cares for religious principles. Everything's generally influenced by atheists. Right? Separation of government, of school and religion, or church, government and religion. Keep it separate. That's your personal thing. You see. Most people don't care for elderly parents anymore. People will be emancipated by famine and taxation. Our minds are disturbed, agitated. Politicians will virtually eat the citizens. Isn't it slowly taking advantage of everybody? What can you do? Powerless. Truthfulness, cleanliness, tolerance, mercy, duration of life, physical strength, memory will all diminish by Kali Yuga. But, as Narada Muni says, although Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, the ocean is huge. I mean, go down to the sea, it's scary, isn't it, sometimes? When it's calm, it's nice. When it gets a little rough sea, well, let me go back a little bit. It's an ocean of faults. There is still one good quality about this age. Simply by chanting the names of Krishna, one can become free from material bondage and be promoted to the transcendental kingdom. Harinama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nasdeva 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 Katuram Yata. That verse is Kalo Dosha Nikta Rajan Asti Yako Mahabuna, Kirtanani Eva Krishna Sha Mukta Sangha Parayachet. Says that for this reason, the great sage Narada Muni has actually glorified the age of Kali as the best of all yugas. The negative qualities are no comparison to the great spiritual opportunity that is given during this age. So this is all brought by the Panchatattva for us. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of this, parents of Panchatattva is Advaita acharya. And this is their activities. You like to go in Harinam or Balabhadra like this? People are passing out on the street. It's so blissful, you just faint. You see these guys over there? This is a Sankirtan of the great personalities. Just like Krishna, when he exhibits the love of God, his symptoms. Because we have Jagannath, you see, he's so happy, he becomes stunned like that. His limbs implode, his eyes become large. Even material, we all kind of have a little, somebody, you kind of, well, God goes like that. Jagannath. Ecstatic symptoms, stunned. So their Sankirtan is like this too. Go pass out on the street. Hare Krishna! So this is what Advaita is mostly remembered for, isn't it? Karanadaksha Vishnu worshiping himself as Shaligram. All the Shaligrams are not different than Vishnu, right? And he's offering Tulsi and Ganga. Because at one point he sees how everybody is irreligious. He is Karanadaksha Vishnu. What is his purpose, Karanadaksha Vishnu? Paridyanaya saranam vinashanata duskritam. He wants to cut their heads off, Sudasam chakra. So he's begging Krishna, you better come, otherwise I'm going to just cut all their heads off. These people are so fallen. They have no attraction for any religious principles. And he's crying out. And because of his crying, Krishna says, I came. If you go to Shantipur, you can see the Shalagram Shivas that he worshipped. How many people have been to Shantipur? It is, it's not very far from Mayapur. And in Shantipur, that residence, Advaita Acharya, he had children. And those people that are there now, they're his descendants. Can you imagine that? They're descendants of Advaita Acharya. So if you go there, you can touch their feet. So dust from their feet. Huh? And the Shalagram Shivas are still. I took this picture in 2008. At that time, generally they don't put them out because you can imagine so many people want to. I'm going to take that home. You know? Even I feel like, man, if I could just have these guys 3, can I have 1? Give me 1. I went with Amiravila Swami. And there's another sannyasi. My godbrother, I can't remember his name. Matter of fact, he was sneaking on the altar. I had to stop and make him come off. I couldn't believe it. He couldn't resist it. It was a close-up. And Pujari in the temple over there. These are some of the buildings. This is the deity of Advaita Acharya. And the Junimar is getting the mercy. Huh? I begged him. I said, please. He said, no. He wouldn't do it. I said, just wait time. Just let me. No. He wouldn't do it. We went during Mangal Arctic. I think this is during the festival. So, and we asked him, could we have darshan, please? So he brought them out. Darshan and the Shaligram. Actually, if you think about it, that Shalagram Shiva brought Mahaprabhu. This is one of the spots there that Nityananda, Advaita, and Mahaprabhu would sit and they would plan Sankirtan. This is after he took sannyasi, he would go. Of course, as a young boy, he would go even too. His brother Vishwarup would go there. And Mother Sachi would send Lord Chaitanya, go bring Vishwarup home, time for him to take prasad. He would come daily. They didn't know he was Krishna. They didn't know he was Krishna yet. He was such a perfect child. They couldn't recognize. So, but later they would come and say, and Srila Prabhupada, he went 2 times. Before he came to America, he made 1 stop here. And he was praying and begging for empowerment to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. So every year they have a big festival in Shantipur to honor, because Lord Advaita Acharya, he was the disciple of Madhavendra Puri. You know who was Madhavendra Puri? How many people like Govardhan Hill Festival? Is that nice where we worship Govardhan Hill? Well, he started at Adakut, Madhavendra Puri. He's the one who the deity stole the sweet rice from all those pastimes. Yeah, so he's Advaita Acharya is his disciple. Ishvara Puri is his Madhavendra's disciple. Lord Chaitanya is the disciple of Ishvara Puri. Nityananda also. These are some of the deities that are there. This is they have 2 temples, as a matter of fact. This is one of them. Amila Swami. We were when the monkey went in across the courtyard.
He's from Hyderabad temple.
Huh?
Amila.
And this is one of the tablets there. 13 generations of descendants are still there. So imagine Advaita Acharya, your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather.
Almost 700 years ago.
Huh?
It's almost 700 years since his birthday.
Yeah. So on Madhavendra's Puri's Parents' Day, they have a big festival in Shantipur, and they feed 50,000 people. And all the devotees come fighting to serve the khichdi, to serve the Vaishnavas on that day. Very auspicious. You know. So, who's been to the Shantipur festival? That's it? Okay, you have to go sometime. Better than that if you can sponsor. It's about $1,500. You can sponsor that whole festival. Kavichandra Swami and Nityananda Swami are the organizers. Everybody who is Nityananda Swami, we have one of his relatives here, descendant who? Vrinda, that's her uncle. Vrinda Rupa, you know Rupa? What's her father's name?
Mukunda.
Huh?
Mukunda. Mukunda.
Mukunda, yeah. This is some of the pastimes of Advaita Acharya. We can't even go along, so we have time to get to that. But this is one pastime where Lord Chaitanya took sannyas, and the ecstasies were developing in him. So he wanted to go to Vrindavan. But the devotees, they don't want to lose his association. Now he's sannyasi. They think, oh, why did he take sannyas? Now we have to treat him like Maharaj. And they like to cook for him. He's sannyasi, he cannot eat anything. He has to be like this and that. So immediately he wanted to travel. So Nityananda had tricked him into coming to Advaita Acharya's house. He says, yes, I'm coming with you. I'm going to take you to Vrindavan. And in his ecstasy, when they were walking along the Ganges River, he thought it was Jamuna. And immediately Nityananda, yes, this is Jamuna River. Oh, so by that time, Advaita Acharya was coming. They sent word, bring Advaita Acharya so we can take him. And he said, Advaita Acharya, what are you doing in Vrindavan? Oh, you're not in Vrindavan. Lord Nityananda has tricked me. He said, technically he did not trick you, because there's a point in the Ganga where it merges with Jamuna. So the western side is Jamuna, the eastern side is Ganga. He said, you were bathing on the Jamuna side, so that was Jamuna. Anyway, come, get in my boat. And they bring him to the home. Because he had took bath, he says, let me give you some fresh cloth. And you should eat something. Oh, no, I'm sannyasi, I cannot eat so much. I have to eat. No, I know who you really are. Don't try to play games with me. You're a juggernaut. You're eating 54 times a day. Now you want to play games with me and say you can't eat? No, sit down, don't. So they cooked, there's a description, hundreds of preparations. And they had 3 plates, 3 spots. One plate was actually for the deities, so he made Lord Chaitanya sit there, Nityananda sit there, and he said, I will serve. You just sit and eat. So Lord Chaitanya still, no, I'm sannyasi, I cannot eat so much, so he would eat half. And Lord Chaitanya would immediately, Lord Advaita Acharya would immediately fill it again, tricking him. So one side, Chaitanya is refusing to eat. Other side, Nityananda, he's avadu. He's complaining. Oh, I am so hungry. Today I thought I would break my fast, but you have nothing here. What is this? This is how you treat, Paramahansas? So they began to joke and laugh in this way back and forth from the Advaita Acharya, of course. Told him, you are a, well, I don't even want to say, but anyway, at one point he became so angry he takes the rice and he throws it on the ground. And some of the rice touches the body of Advaita Acharya. And he begins to dance in ecstasy. As he said, now I've been purified. But the Mahaprasad was so purifying. You didn't see it, touch it, you become purified. So this is one of the pastimes of Advaita, Nityananda. And also at one time, Lord Advaita Acharya begged to see the universal form, which Mahaprabhu showed him. So, anyway, Friday, please take some time to remember Advaita Acharya and to, as mentioned in this bhajan, it said, my dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful to me. If you are kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. So you can pray like that also. And we can get his shelter so that we can continue in our Krishna consciousness and that we can be empowered to give Krishna consciousness to others also. That's what Krishna consciousness means. It's not so much just for me, how am I feeling? Oh, very nice. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No. You have to do like them. You have to go out. Param Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam. Go out and perform and give it. And what happens? Chaito Dapanam Marjanam. Cleanses the heart. Bhava Mahatavati Nirvapanam. Now you can taste the Bhava. So the more you give, the more you taste. The more you try to hold on, then you still taste, but it's like that. You give more and more. You taste more and more too. Shri Advaita Acharya ki. Yeah. Shri Prabhupada ki. Yeah. All glories to the Sama devotees. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for listening.
Shikhi mahiti prabhu ki.
It's a combination.
He is Mahavishnu and Sadashiv. And you also mentioned that Mahavishnu is a manifestation of Sadashiv.
If you look at the progression, it's Balaram, Krishna, from Krishna, Balaram, Chaturvyuha, another Chaturvyuha. From that Sankarshan is Sadashiva in this Vaikuntha planets. From that Sadashiva comes Karanadakshaya Vishnu.
So what is the relation between Sadashiva and Lord Shiva? Is there?
Also the Shivas are coming from that Sadashiva too.
Okay, but the original
Also.
is Sankarshan.
It's also that Sankarshan. There's not a lot of discussion about that part. It just mentions that. So, it doesn't go into a lot of detail. I think because, again, as I mentioned, what we're really cultivating is the mellows of devotional service, right? So who cares about, who this and that, and this and, isn't it? We just want to love Krishna. So whatever is necessary to bring you to that is discussed. So no acharyas really got into, Sadashiva details and the relationship between Shiva. There's Shiva Tattva, we're Jiva Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, right? So Vishnu Tattva has 98% the qualities of Krishna, right? Shiva Tattva has 76% of the qualities of Krishna. And in the Jiva Tattva's us, we have the lowest amount. Therefore, we are bewildered by the energies. If Maya is on us, what happens? There's no God. I don't care for anything. I'm this body. I'm going to die. Who cares if I die? There's nothing to enjoy. You can't free yourself, can you? And the internal energy takes control of you. Same thing, baby. Krishna's not God. He's my son. If I don't feed him, he's going to die. If I don't punish him, he'll become a thief. So like that, different tattvas. But the whole purpose is for experiencing the mellows of spiritual life. This is the purpose. So right now we're just absorbed in these limited mellows of material energy, which generally just lead us to frustration. Enjoy a little bit, but mostly a lot of suffering, isn't it? It's like giving you some sweet rice, but I put a little sand in it. So it tastes like sweet rice, but I have to tolerate the sand. And you just keep eating it. In a sense, so we want to have sweet rice without sand. That is spiritual life. Remove the material part of it. So spiritual emotions for Krishna means you have to become humble servant. Through servitorship, these mellows can be understood. You have to have a service attitude. And then you can understand them. Otherwise, they're hidden. A mystery, seems strange. Easier to understand than personal views, right? Material life is suffering, so I must be nothing. That's better. But then to understand how to have emotions spiritually, that's seems very bewildering. How God can be in fear of his devotee. Oh, don't hit me, please, I'm sorry. But if you have a service attitude, which requires humility, sacrifice, then these things will no longer be hidden to us. Haribol. Okay, we're ready for the best part, announcements, right?
So for our Sunday feast today, we would like to request Naga Totada. He is sponsoring this Sunday feast in memory of his brother, who just recently passed away. And also for Mini Aarti, we would like to request Shyam Patel and family. Am I pronouncing it correct? You're not. Shanta Torah. Okay. So, Naga here, he's sponsoring the Sunday feast because his brother, Rajashekar Todala, who was born on April 3rd, 1947, the year of Indian independence, correct? And passed away January 22nd, just a few days ago, on Wednesday at 3:25 a.m. They were cremated on January 24th. And he lived a very good life till the age of 73. So, the brother here, Naga, he wants the prayers, the blessings of all the Vaishnavas, so that his brother can rest in peace. Would you like to say something?
This is Dr. Shanta. I've been in Atlanta for 60 years. 60. I came to Emory University and graduated with MD and a PhD. I'm still here. Raja invited him from India, and I was there when his mother was pregnant. I participated in delivery. I carried the food to the hospital for his mother when she delivered the baby. Educated him, I brought him here, and there was a lot of his siblings also came. He was highly educated, very nice man. We miss him very, very much. I do know, according to Krishna consciousness, I have studied quite a lot about Bhagavad Gita. I have got Bhagavad Gita by Bhakti in my bathroom. All the time I read it, and also I read it in my bedroom. And I do know his soul has gone, his body is left. His only body, physical, is gone, but his soul, Atma, whatever you call the name itself, is still floating, and he has entered into the Krishna's consciousness, and he is there in his surrounding his whole garden, garland that he was having. The people are dying and coming and entering. He's right there, staying in the Atma. And I thank you all for giving an opportunity, and thank you for all your blessings. Thank you for Krishna conscious. I know the movement very well. I drive from here to Church Baptist Hospital and Lady Hospital for 40 years through this road. I saw many of you participating and trying to raise the consciousness of Krishna. And I thank you again for your effort, and I sincerely appreciate your allowing us to speak. God bless you all. Lord Krishna be with you all forever and forever. In the name of Krishna, I say Jai, Jai, Jai.
Hare Krishna. So I'm going to request if all of you could please raise both your hands. For those of you who praise their lordships, we're going to pray to them. And for those of you who already have your forearms, if you can also lift the rest of the two arms. Ready? Together? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So just two brief announcements. We have Shikhi mahiti prabhu, who very beautifully spoke about the appearance day of Sri Advaita acharya. His appearance day happens to be the 31st. So it's good that you all got a heads up on what his beautiful personality was, and you will get to know more during this week. So we'll be having a celebration in the temple on Friday. And then on the 5th, we're celebrating, there's a Varaha-Dvadasi, 5th and 6th. Ekadasi is on the 5th, but we'll be fasting for Varaha-Dvadasi. So anyway, it's a little technical how that thing works. We'll send it to you in an email and you'll get to know the details. On the 7th of February, we're celebrating the appearance day of Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Hello, Nityananda Rama Ki. So Nityananda Prabhu is Lord Balaram in Kali Yuga. It's a very beautiful incarnation, and he's extremely merciful, compassionate, and you'll get to know so much more about this great personality. If you could join us on this day, on February the 7th, to celebrate his appearance day. And on that day, we normally fast till noon, just to make fun. And then the final announcement is that we have two members in the congregation who has also departed this world in the last 3 days. One is Biplav Kumar Das. He departed yesterday. Day before yesterday, on Thursday. And then Gauranga Banik. There was a gentleman. He used to come to this temple, active in the Bengali community, Gauranga Banik. He was jogging and he departed this world while he was jogging, and that was on January the 18th, Saturday. So these are, I don't know about their ages.
60. Around 60.
58. So he knows him very well. He said 58. So since I have no way to verify that, I will just accept the words of a sadhu. So we're going to pray for these two departed souls. If you don't mind to please raise both your hands. We're going to pray for Biplav Kumar Das and Gauranga Banik. Together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. As you know, we have Bhagavad Gita in your hand. Who does have a Bhagavad Gita in your house? Raise your hand. Who have no idea what I'm talking about. It's okay not to know. So, this beautiful Bhagavad Gita, which has transformed the lives of millions and millions of people around the world, it is available to you. We have cases and cases of them. If you can take a case with you and give it in charity to someone, there is no greater charity than giving spiritual knowledge. So please come and see Shri Prabhu. Anyone here would like a case of Bhagavad Gita? I don't know your initial name, Prabhu. I need your initial name. Uttam Prabhu? Saha, Rana Saha. So Rana Saha, he would like a case of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and then he will share it with everyone else. So let's give him a big Haribol. That was only once. Auspicious is when you do it 3 times. Thank you so much. Anyone else wants a case of Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Srinivas. So Srinivas took another case just now. So thank you so much. Please come and have the last darshan of the deities. And you will also see there is a beautiful crown that is put on your head. Who knows what that is? Raise your hand if you know what it is. Raise your hand if you don't know what it is. Raise your hand if you have no idea what I'm talking about. So in Sanskrit it's called Shatari. You don't have to remember it. But it has the prints of Krishna's lotus feet. So it's very difficult to take his lotus feet and put it on your head. So we put it on a crown to crown you with the lotus feet of Krishna on your head. So that is called Shatari. So please come and have the last darshan. Prasadam will be served in the temple.